Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Cam here. Not gonna lie, it's nearly 3 a.m. and I've been at work all day, so I'm pretty freaking tired. So I'm sorry if I'm not as energetic and informative as I usually am, but I wanted to get this done as quickly as I possibly could for you guys. Um, so the main thing we're going to, or the main two things, excuse me, that we're going to be talking about tonight that most of you have asked me about is, one, how to track all your buffs, all your dots, and number two, the very specifics of how to do the rotation. And what I mean by that is like what specific builders and masteries to use. And that's actually very simple and very complicated at the same time, but we'll get into that later. Um, oh, hello Adele. As usual, we're at Bio's house parsing here. Nothing out of the usual. Which, by the way, feel more than free to give Bio money. This man's house is violated on a daily basis. So anyways, what we're going to be talking about is how to get your buffs. So the three or four main plugins that I use is Buff Bars, Buff Monitor, and then let me show you real quick. CA to track all your dots. And by the way, you can get rid of these images. You can make custom TGA files, or there's other files you can get to actually get the icon of the gambits. I just haven't done it yet because I mean, I don't really need to for me. But you can do that if you would like to do. So first things first, we're going to show you how to get the seize the moment and the momentum and the recklessness pop-ups here for Buff Monitor. So let me pull that up for you. Alright, Buff Monitor options. Here we are. Okay, so when you download Buff Monitor and you load it up, right, you're going to have, it's going to show your about page here. Make sure you load it for all the characters that you want as you usually would. Go to options. You're going to go into effect windows and you're going to type in new. Once you've typed in new, you're going to have a bar pop up and you're going to give it a name. You can give it any name you want. So here's how it works. The name of the buff here is different from what the name of this is. So when you go in here and you type into the effect, it's going to be, you can make it different than what the actual name of the bar is. So for example, I can name this Sage, but as long as I type in effect Reckless in here, then it'll be just fine. So make sure you remember that. Next, once you've chosen a name, you can use go into your UI elements. You can show effect icon, effect name, etc., etc. Change the width and the height. These are my three main buffs, so I choose to make these bigger, so that way, you know, if we're in the middle of a raid, I know immediately that it's popped up. I mean, it's really hard to miss a big, bright-ass yellow seize the moment proc, which is exactly what you want. You want to know instantaneously when that is procced. So set these three bars up. It is case sensitive. It is very much so case sensitive. We found that out the hard way. We also found out with recklessness that for the effect, here, let me go and type this in for you. We found out that if you type in recklessness or reckless, it actually works. It was kind of confusing. If you type in recklessness initially, it will not work. So you have to type in reckless, Reckless, and it will auto-fill in as recklessness. Don't ask me why, I haven't a clue, but it does, and that's how we figured it out. Momentum, that one's very easy. Just make sure you capitalize the M here. Seize the moment, also very easy. Capitalize the S and the M. Keep the T in the lowercase. And again, you can make as many of these bars as you want for anything else. So, for example, I have my Never Surrender, my Call of Wardens, my Conviction, my Dance of War, and my Warden's Triumph. I also thought about doing one for Adroit Maneuver, but as I said, I've never played with hunters that are worth me using that for. No offense to you, hunters. So feel free to tweak with this, mess with it as you would like. You can also mess with the width and the height to make these bars vertical if you do so wish. But but that's fairly simple to set up buff monitors. The more complicated one is CA, and let me show you that. Okay, so when you've opened up CA, so a lot of people, there's two parts of CA. There's the actual physical part of CA that lets you see your damage, your heals, and etc., etc. Then there's the tracker of CA, which allows you to track buffs and debuffs, like I do so here. So we are going to go to debuffs, and let me enhance this for you guys. So you can see here that these are all of my gambits that I've loaded up. So Desolation, my target skills, bleeds, low, medium, high bleeds, quick, sweet bleeds, Desolation, Spirit Virtue, all this stuff is loaded up. And you can set it up in different ways. And this one can be very tricky because if you look closely, none of this looks capitalized, but the D in Desolation is capitalized. So everything here is case sensitive, but it all looks the same. So you have to be very careful, make sure you're paying attention to what you're doing when you set this up. And keep in mind, please keep in mind, don't copy what I do unless you would like to, of course. If you would like to, please do so, but you do not have to copy and do everything as I do. So you can, if you just want to do your bleed setup, you can just do your bleed setup. If you just want to do your light dot setup, you can do your light dot setup. So how you do this is we're going to go to add a debuff. Oh, by the way, we found out when you choose your trait configurations here, it doesn't matter which one you choose. It does not matter which one you choose. For example, I mean, you can see I have Way of the Spirit selected, but as usual, I'm in yellow line right here, and all my dots are still tracked. So don't worry about this. You can pick literally any of them. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to add a debuff. And let's say I wanted to add adroit maneuver. So what I would do is I would type in adroit maneuver here. I would select my class, which I am a warden, best class in the game. And as I said earlier, if you want to load up a icon file name for when the dot appears or the gambit is used and you want the actual icon of the gambit to pop up, you can absolutely do that. Removal only, toggle skill, don't worry about this. We don't really have any toggle skills anyways, I mean, other than our stances, but there's literally no reason in the world why you would track those anyways. So leave this stuff unchecked. So once you've typed in adroit maneuver here, keep in mind it is case sensitive. You're going to have the crit checked, the delay, and the duration. So I don't really worry about this. This is when the gambit either gets a critical strike or a devastating strike. The only gambit I could think of that would matter, or not, it's not even gambit, it's critical strike, the skill they use after ambush, but it's a useless skill and there's no reason why you would want to track it. Delay. This could be a good idea for you to use like Wall of Steel or Onslaught after you've used your medium or big bleed. You could do that, but I personally don't like to do that. I just want to know instantly when I've used it. That way I know approximately how long I have until I need to use it again. But the main important one is duration. And as you would expect, duration is going to be the amount of time from the moment I've used the gambit that is going to be the timer of what the pop-up will appear. So let me show you real quick. So Desolation's timer is, I believe I have it set at 28 seconds. Yes, I do have it set at 28 seconds. So that means it should be here if I remember correctly. So that means when I use Desolation, oh, it's down here. So immediately 28 seconds are used. Some people will put their duration at 27 seconds. Just because from the moment the gambit is used, you have 1 second down, right? But I found that when I put the duration as 28 seconds, it's more accurate because as you could see clearly, let's wait for this to expire. So from the moment the gambit is used, it's immediately ticked down to 27, which means if I had the initial duration set to 27, it would initially be ticked down to 26, which means it's not 100% accurate. So I just do 28 seconds personally. But that's pretty much how you set it all up. Just go through, pick all your gambits that you want to use, select your class, type in the name, case sensitive, include an icon file if you want to have the actual icon appear. Make sure you type in the name down here again and select your duration. You can add this skill where it will conflict with other gambits, for example, power attack into onslaught. You can also do it with effect modifiers, for example, marked target, or applied by other things. But again, this is all just very unnecessary for what we're trying to accomplish, and it can just end up confusing a lot of people, so I personally don't want to have it in there at all. But other than that, that's pretty much all it is. Now, buff monitor. Yeah, right here. Or buff bars, excuse me. So there are two parts of buff bars. There is the actual effect windows, and you guys have probably seen it before. And when you first load up buff bars, you have this big ass line of buffs between your food, literally everything. It just covers up your entire screen. You don't need to do that. So what you can do is you can come down to the effect sliders here, and you can have either sliders, for example, battle prep. I don't use the sliders. I personally don't. I'm not a fan of it. But what you can do is when you're using battle memory here, or not battle memory, I'm sorry, battle prep here, it will show you the timer of how long you have to use it. Same thing with if you're in the moors and you want to know how long you have on your Defiant Challenge mitts or your Conviction or Dance of War mitts, you can have the slider bar here. Me personally, I just like to have a little bar here. It's cleaner, it's neater in my opinion. The buffs I like to track are my Never Surrender, just because when you're looking to see if your Never Surrender is up, so sometimes in a raid, you know, your Never Surrender will be off cooldown, you're like, oh, I wonder if I need to use it, but you can't tell if you have it activated or not because you have 5 million other buffs on you. I just have this little bar popped up to see if it's activated or not. Also, it will show the timer. Let me show you real quick. So it'll track the timer to show me how long I've had it on. Let me show you Conviction and Dance of War. Oh. So right here, you'll see that this tells me exactly how long I have on the mitigation bonuses from these. Also, when I'm in Redline, being a Parsor and I have a yellow mini in the group, I like to know how long I have Call of Greatness, or Call to Wardens technically. So I have that tracked here. And then I also have tracked Warden's Triumph. The reason I have Warden's Triumph tracked is when I'm in the middle of a rotation. As we've stated many times, yellow, your rotation is very adaptive. So if I'm wanting to get, you know, my ranged gambits off, but I only have 20 seconds to do so, then I'm going to hold off a little bit. I'm going to continue doing melee gambits. And then when this gets down to, you know, maybe 6 or 7 seconds, I'll swap back stances and I'll do RUS or RC, just to maximize the efficiency as much as I possibly can. That's the point of these timers. Oh, one other thing I totally forgot to mention to you guys. Your effect windows. I can't believe I totally forgot to mention that to you guys. So after you have, you know, gone through CA, this is how buff bars tracks all these dots here. So once everything has been loaded up through CA here, you'll then go to buff bars here, and you'll go to effect windows. And you can see where I have all of my effect windows made and ready up here. So once all your dots are made here in CA, all your gambits, all your skills and everything, you'll go to buff bars. You'll then go to effect windows. You'll click new, and you'll select a name. So test video -1. Load it for me, Cathera, show window. I can do it as always, only in combat, only on Warsteed, only out of combat. I can do time remaining. I can do how long until it has been done. You can also change the direction. So some people like to count it from 1 to 28 or 28 to 1. So you can choose that as well. bar order, mob debuffs, every time. Select this. The only time you wouldn't select this is if you were like an LM or something like that, where you wanted to do maybe mob CC or something like that. But other than that, it will always be mob debuffs. Your effect triggers down here, you will come down, delete everything. And you'll add, so you'll click the add button here, you'll hit template, and you will select all mob debuffs. So that'll pop up right here. And once that's done, once you have a name, so for example, if I typed in Desolation here, it would then be able to track Desolation. And that way I could then track Desolation here. And then I would double type Desolation here as well. And then you would select your duration right here. Which again, it's tracking it from CA though, so it should pretty much autofill in for you here. If it's not, just type it in and then it'll work from there on out. But you do have to do that for every single, well, you don't have to do it for every single one. Dem and I actually experimented with doing one window for like Mighty Blow and Wall of Steel, but we found out it was just much cleaner to do an individual window for each one. So for example, I'll show you what it looks like when all the dots are popped up here. Oh, lag. So you can see it's tracking all of these dots here. If I remember correctly, I have RRC, Target Skills, Mighty Blow, Unerring Strike, Wall of Steel, Desolation, Surety of Death, Spear of Virtue. No, I lied. Piercing Strike is down here. Spear of Virtue is right here. Power Attack, Onslaught. And keep in mind, you can absolutely add to this. You could add Adroit Maneuver. You could add Brink of Victory. You could add War Cry. I don't use Piercing Strike and Brink of Victory anywhere near as often as I do the other gambits. Therefore, I don't bother having windows on them because I'm not worried about tracking them. I'm only worried about tracking the dots that I should have up there 100% of the time. Therefore, I don't like to keep Piercing or Brink on there. That's just unnecessary clutter, unnecessary information. I know based off my procs of STM whether I'm going to be able to have Piercing and Brink on there or not. But that is basically how you set up all your dots, all your buffs, all your monitors for everything. It can be a little tricky to set it up at first, so if you guys have any questions, please message me on Discord. I'll be more than happy to walk you guys through it step by step. Like I said, I know I'm being a pain in the ass to try to understand, but it's 3:06 a.m. and I'm pretty bloody tired. But on to the next thing. I'm so tired of being in combat. Let me get out of combat real quick. So a lot of you can watch my rotation and see that the gambits that I use, but you're not always aware of how I'm making those gambits, right? So the question is, how exactly do you make those gambits? What builders, what masteries do you specifically use? And to be honest with you, I wish I could tell you it's a set way to do it, but that's the beauty of this class. This is the most versatile class in the game. There's no one way to make a gambit. So Desolation, for example. Let's say that this is on cooldown initially. So my Fist and Shield Mastery is on cooldown initially. That means I could do my Fist, Shield, Builder, right? And then you could do one of two things here. You could either do another Fist Builder and then use your Shield Fist Mastery, and that gives you Desolation instantly. Or what you can do, now this can be a little tricky. I do it this way because this is quicker for me, but this can be tricky, especially if there's lag involved. Your quick recovery. So you know how you have recovery and you have quick recovery. Most people are aware of recovery. Most people are not aware of quick recovery. So for example, if I wanted to build Desolation when my Fist and Shield Mastery is on cooldown, I do Fist, Shield, and then I do my Fist Mastery, but I quickly press X, that's my button for recovery, and then I do my Shield and Fist builder right here. That instantly gives me Desolation. So here's what it would look like. So if I'm in combat, so my Fist and Shield Mastery is on cooldown, right? But I need to build Desolation. Here, let me get this so I can use my builders. So, Fist, Shield, X. Oh, lag. See, that's what I was like. It's dangerous to do this, to do it this way with lag. But if everything is smooth, it's much more fluent. Yeah, see, oh god, 59% loss. No, thank you. So mess around to see what works for you. So there's no one way to build a gambit. There's many ways to build it. So another way a lot of people will do it is, come on, go away. A lot of people will do your Fist Shield Mastery. They'll do a Fist Builder, and then they'll instantly do their Shield Fist Mastery as well. That allows you to build Desolation instantly, but then you have to build Surety next. So you do Fist, Shield, Fist, Shield, Shield. Or technically you can do Shield and Spear, but I like to save this for my other Spear gambits. So it's very important to remember to not get into the habit of building one gambit one certain way. You need to be prepared to adapt. You need to be able to prepare to utilize other builders or other masteries to build the same gambit. Because sometimes you mess up. Sometimes when you're trying to build Unerring Strike, so I have my Spear Shield, Fist Spear, and Shield Shield. So sometimes I try to do Unerring Strike, but sometimes what will end up happening is this will go off, this will go off, but this didn't go off. So this skill didn't get activated, whether it's due to lag or I misclicked, and what will happen is you'll do that. And you've built boots, and you're like, well, shit, what do I do now? So what you could do then is go here, here, and then boom, you have an Unerring Strike right there. Now you have used other masteries, which is going to prevent you from using your other rotations, but it is definitely better than the alternative of just building this with builders. Look how much time this is taking. That takes forever to do. So, honestly, rule number one of this class, learn to be adaptive, learn to be versatile. There are two main gambits that you need to learn which masteries to use, in my opinion. And that is Ranged Resounding Challenge and Mighty Blow. So a lot of people, especially in Redline, the way they'll build Mighty Blow is Spear Shield and Fist Spear. And that's perfectly fine. That is absolutely perfectly fine to do, because most of the time you'll have Unerring Strike in your battle memory anyways, which means you can get away with doing that. And then you alternate Unerring Strike and Mighty Blow between the two of your battle memories, and there's no issue there. Excuse me. But for the time you don't do that, so let me go back to my range stance. So let's say I was at the beginning of a rotation, right? Let's say I was at the beginning of a rotation, and I used our RC. I have my Death Strike prepped, I have my Swappy. Right. Okay, well I have an STM proc. I'm going to wait for this to wear off so you can actually see how this works. I'm going to wait for this to wear off. So, if I build Mighty Blow traditionally... Oh crap, I said I was going to wait for it to wear off, but I didn't. There. Okay, so I built Mighty Blow using these two masteries. What do I do now? I've used Mighty Blow, but how in the world am I going to build an Unerring Strike? Am I going to do a Spear Builder with Shield Fist right here? Good lord, lag is making me mess up. Sorry, guys. So I do a Spear Builder here with the Shield Fist Mastery, but then I still have to do another Spear and Shield to get an Unerring Strike, and that takes so much time to do. So what I do... Alright. Let's wait for these to wear off. So what I do is I start with RRC at the beginning of the fight. I do my Death Strike, I do my Swappy, I get Death Strike procs. Now, of course, I get an STM proc. I'm going to wait for that to wear off, though. So what I do is I do a Spear Builder. I do Shield Fist. build it, and then you have power attack, and then I do my spear fist mastery. That gives me mighty blow. Then what that allows me to do is that keeps these two masteries up and available to build mighty blow again with one shield builder, and then I have an erring strike. Then that keeps these two gambits open, or I'm sorry, these two masteries open for me to do this, Wall of Steel. So now I have a chance to trigger quick sweep for mighty blow. And if worse comes to worse, I don't get a quick sweep proc and it consumes the bleed, not to worry, you have mighty blow in your battle memory here to refresh it. So that is why I build mighty blow in that specific way. Because if I were to do it this way here, you're hurting yourself in trying to build an erring strike. You're hurting yourself in trying to do Wall of Steel or Onslaught. So this is part of being able to adapt and do your gambits in a certain way that benefits your rotation. And that the way I do it is because of my rotation. You guys may have a totally different rotation to where you do want to build it this way and you want to keep these two masteries open. I don't know. Excuse me. So that's how I do Mighty Blue. The other gambit that I like to do a certain specific way is RRC, Range Resounding Challenge. So if I was in combat here, let me get in combat so that these masters will get on cooldown. And let me get battle memory here out of the way. Stupid SM, I'm going to go back into red so that way I don't have to worry about CDs here. So I just finished a rotation, right? So I did a complete full rotation and now I'm ready to rinse and repeat for RRC and Range Resounding Challenge. I am going to do a Fist and Shield Mastery. Instead of doing a Fist and Javelin Mastery here, I'm going to do a Fist Builder. And then again, I'm going to do the Javelin and Fist Mastery here. That builds RRC. The reason I do that is once I've used this, it's just like an erring strike. I have Javelin and Shield. I have Fist and Javelin available. And then Shield available to build our US. If I didn't have this, if I had used this for RRC, this would not be up for me to build an erring strike. Now, true, you could technically do a spear builder here and then use these two masteries here. You could do that. I don't do that just from habit, but you could absolutely do that. So again, you need to be prepared to adapt to build specific gambits, and you need to learn that there is more than one way to make a gambit. So you can absolutely get in the habit of building a gambit a main way, but you also need to be prepared to build it a secondary and sometimes even a third way. Because if you get so muscle memory based on building a gambit a certain way, and then you're not able to build it that way, it will completely mess up your rotation. Trust me, I know. I've been there. So that is that. That is how you use specific masteries. So what I'm going to show you guys now is in slow motion my rotation in yellow, or one of my rotations in yellow. I've actually adapted a third rotation in the past 2 days from Rilg and Zero because those bastards are out parsing me right now and I'm trying to catch up. Anyways, so let me go into the house here to get out of combat real quick. Alright. And that'll expire as well. Excuse me. Alright, we're going to use this dummy here. So, at the beginning of the fight, as I mentioned earlier, I don't know if I mentioned that in the last video, I'm starting to start the fight with our US instead of our RC. There's 2 reasons for that. If we look here, our US has a tick time of 32 seconds, whereas all of your other dots, including our RC, have a tick time of 28 seconds. So the reason you do that is, build this again. While this is ticking, not only am I getting a chance of getting the very last tick of this to go, I'm also giving myself more time for RRC to tick to get through my rotation, which is now giving me more uptime to have to refresh it. So if I started with RRC and then RUS, I have even less time now to finish my rotation, go back, and refresh RRC, which in turn is lowering your DPS. So this is just for the start of the fight. Eventually it's going to be to where RRC is going to be ticking down before RUS anyways. That's okay. This is just for the beginning of the fight. So I'm going to go through very slowly here. Let me buff up real quick because I hate running out of power in the middle of parses. Alright. Oh my lag. Do you guys see that? Good lord, this is going to be painful. Lag hurts wardens more than any other class. It's absolutely just a nightmare. You want to do Desolation, but you ended up getting Conviction. Like, what the hell? Alright. So, we start with RUS, right? And then I immediately go into a Fist Shield and Fist Spear Mastery. Now, 8 times out of 10, you're not going to get a proc of STM from your first gambit. That's amazing luck if you do get that, and that's how you get those extremely high first 1 minute parses. So let me do it again. Hopefully I don't get a proc. I'm gonna wait for these to go off cooldown so I can smoothly show you guys. So the fight just started. I start with RUS. I build Fist Shield, Fist Spear, RRC. Now, if I get a proc from those 2 gambits, I forget battle memory and I forget my javelin skills. I immediately swap stances and I do Mighty Blow, Unerring Strike, Power Attack, Wall of Steel. Then I will do Mark Target with my LI for the double chance, Swappy for Diminished Target, and quite often that will give you another STM proc, which will then in turn allow you to do Desolation, Surety of Death, Spear of Virtue, and then you have a couple of choices after that, but I'm going to show you there show you that when we get there. So I'm going to briefly show you a complete full rotation real quick. Maybe it takes me out of combat. There we go. If you want to be an OG and just, put fire at will at the beginning of your parts, you can do that just to cap you out, because why the hell not? Wait a minute. Why is my crit so low? Oh, I know what it is. Yeah, there it is. I built a tanking set today just for shits and giggles, because why not? My warden was actually able to almost hit 1,000,000 morale in the Morse, which was funny as hell. I think that's it? Yeah, that's it. And something else is missing. Where are you? Ah, there you are. Oh no, don't tell me I did a tier 2 run today with that stuff on. And I still outparsed Rizza with that. Oh, he's gonna be so mad when he hears that. Anyways, alright. So we're going to start with RUS here. So pop fire will. RUS. Here. Didn't get a proc, so I'm gonna do Death Strike. There's my proc, so I immediately go into melee. Mighty Blow. Unerring Strike. Power Attack. Onslaught. Battle Memory. Swappy. Go to Diminished Target. Hampering. Didn't get a proc. That's okay. It's not the end of the world. We're going to do Desolation. Going to do Power Attack again, just to try another chance for the double proc. And now we're going to do Surety. See how RC is now just expired. There's my proc. And it's just a rinse and repeat, basically. Alright, so now I'm going to do these two skills again. Ah, perfect. So I got a double proc here. This means I just did my bleed rotation, and I got another proc. This means I'm going to refresh Desolation, Surety, Spear of Virtue. Then, and only then, if you get a double proc on this specific rotation, this is when I do Piercing Strike and Brink of Victory. Let me see if I can do it again. To be honest with you, I am not used to talking while doing this, so it's kind of hard for my brain to be able to explain to you while I'm doing it. So you can see the point of where this is going. So you use your STM proc, your first STM proc to get your bleed set up and part of your light dot set up. Then you try for a second STM proc with your javelin skills here to get additional dots up that you initially in the past would not have time to get going, right? So let's go see if we can do it again real quick. Excuse me. Now, did you guys see it, that last rotation when I was refreshing RRC? Like I said, I did my Fist and Shield Mastery, I did a Fist Builder, and then my Spear Fist Mastery. And that allowed me to keep these three Masteries off cooldown to build RUS back instantly. Alright, so we're going to see if I can, oh god. I was not prepared to get that. So forget forget your battle memory death strike here. Immediately go get your bleeds up. If you get an STM proc instantly, forget your dots or your battle memory. No more procs, that's okay. Not the end of the world. Oh my, that was fugly. Refresh RRC. Build an engineering strike again. Get my proc going. There's another proc, so that means I'm going to do Mighty Blow, Engineering Strike, and Wall of Steel. And then Battle Memory, Mighty Blow, Swappy for my Diminished Target again. Go for the double proc. Didn't get it. Damn, come on. Oh my, that's some awesome lag. That was supposed to be Desolation, but it's okay. It's not the end of the world. I'm not trying to get a real parse here anyways, I'm just trying to get the procs. You guys were saying it's not possible to get this high DPS in the first minute. Look, I'm fucking around. I've messed up my rotation 4 times. I'm talking to you guys, and I'm still at 100. I think I saw 174k within the first minute and 5 seconds there. This DPS is absolutely possible. There are now 2 other wardens who have posted YouTube videos. You Zero, as I've said many times, and now Regale from Ian as well. That man parsed, I think, 218k if I'm remembering correctly. He got the parts up to 221k, and then he lowered it. I think it lowered down to 216 or 217k, something really close to that. Solo. Also, keep in mind, both of the videos that both of those guys showed, they had max hits of 389 and 378k as well, which means 400k max hits is very possible under the certain circumstances. A lot of you guys were not concerned, but you had questions of, well, Cam, it's not hard to get a double proc, a physicality essence proc with momentum and all that going at the same time. True, that happens quite common actually, but it has to happen at the right time. So let's say that this dummy here has a double marked target proc. I have my class essence here from my throne class item here going, right? And I have momentum going, and I have all the buffs going. But I've already done my bleed setup. I've just done my bleed setup, and now I'm moving to my light dots. I am not going to refresh my bleeds again, literally after just doing them, just to go for that big crit. I'm going to finish Desolation, I'm going to finish Surety, I'm going to finish Spear of Virtue, Piercing Strike, Brink of Victory, all that stuff. I have to have those buffs all combined together when I'm doing the bleed setup. Not only do I have to have those buffs going when I'm doing the bleed setup, I have to have the RNG of the quick sweep nuke. So it's RNG mixed in with other RNG in combination with other RNG. So you guys are absolutely correct. It is not hard to get those 3 buffs going, or those 4 buffs going simultaneously. Having those 4 buffs going simultaneously in the right scenario, assuming I get the RNG of the quick sweep proc, that is what is the big total RNG aspect of this. Hopefully you guys are a little more aware of that now. Oh, something else I totally forgot to mention to you guys, and I realized after I had posted the other video and it drove me crazy that I forgot something this important. What you'll see a lot of people is, I told you guys I'm not a big fan of putting 5 points here on lasting mark. I'm really not. But a lot of people like to do it for raids and stuff like that, so I'm doing it now to show you the benefit and the capability that what you can do with it. So if I have a double proc here, let's try to get a proc actually. Of course not, because why would I want this when I'm doing an example in a video? If I got, let's say I got my double proc here, so I have minus 10% followed by another minus 10%. That minus 20% is lasting for a minute, but the cooldown of this is only 18 seconds. Is it 18? Yeah, okay, it is 18. Wanted to make sure I wasn't actually stupid. It is 18 seconds. This means I now, next time in my rotation, I can use my swappy. I can then use this again, and I'll have minus 12.5% mitigation stacked with the double proc of minus 10% physical mitigation. So instead of just keeping the minus 20%, we've now increased it to minus 22.5, 22.5%. Now again, that's not a make or break case, but at the same time, if it's going to happen, you might as well make the best of it. You might as well be the most efficient as you can. That's the whole point of Yellow Line at the moment. Yellow Line has so much utility that Red doesn't have, because Red is raw burst damage. You have, you have adroit maneuver, you have debuffing skills, you have a slow, you have more AOE, you have mitigation bypass, block chance for the group, range damage increase for the group. Actually, I was messing around with this earlier today to test to see AoE damage comparison with champions, the Shattered Javelins. It's actually pretty disgusting. So keep in mind, oh, I'm not in range stance. Damn it. Let me build Exhalation of Battle real quick. Alright, there we go. So Exhalation of Battle. Keep in mind, this is a 10 target gambit with a 40-meter range and a 360-degree circle. That is massive. That is huge. But look at what you have a 50% chance to apply. You have a 50% chance to apply almost 65,000 damage to a target every 4 seconds for 32 seconds. Which means if I'm in an AoE fight, perfect example, you're in ad phase of Shelob, or you're in the daughter phase of Boss 2. You can put this into your rotation. You can also put Fierce Resolve into this rotation. That's 40k damage. Now, again, you're not going to get this on all 10 targets. Well, you might, and that's amazing RNG, but you're probably going to get this on, maybe 4 to 6, maybe even 7 targets. First, talking pure statistics wise, you're going to get this on 5 targets, but RNG, we love it. So what we would do is I would do Range Resounding Challenge, and then I would do my Exhalation of Battle, my Fierce Resolve, and then I would do a usually that will give me a proc. Usually that would give me a proc. If it didn't, I did Javelin of Deadly Force, and since that thing is hitting 10 targets, that's going to give you a proc. What I would do is I would do Mighty Blow, or Ranged Mighty Blow, Ranged Unerring Strike, and then I would do Ranged Wall of Steel in combination with the Shattered Javelins, and that gives me a big AoE nuke. Then, while I still have Seize the Moment procced, I swap stances with Momentum, instantly build Desolation, instantly build Surety of Death, instantly build Brink of Victory. Then I would do a Goad here, swap back stances, and I would do range resounding challenge again. So it's actually very fun. If you ever want to go see the DPS that you can dish out in Yellow Line and add phases, um, the most fun you'll have is at the very beginning when you're clearing the room for boss one in Rem. Just ask your tank, hey tank, go have some balls, go pull the whole room, and literally just go do that rotation and see how much DPS you can deal out. I've actually had my CA reach 690k in there. I've heard other people have hit higher, but I haven't seen it. I'm sure it's possible though. Obviously you can't maintain that. That's just ridiculously hard to maintain. But it's absolutely possible to do. But that's the utility aspect of yellow. So again, there's multiple ways you can play this trait tree. You can play it support debuff. You can play it as support DPS. You can play it as raw DPS. You can play it as an AoE DPS. You can play it as a Morse build. I have a couple of trait pages on my other wardens, and I don't have it on this warden because this right here, why are these things 100 MC? That is disgustingly expensive, my god. I have a couple of trait pages where I'm yellow into blue or blue into yellow. Just because BAs are so annoying right now, and I'm in this stance way more than I am in the phrase stance versus BAs. So you have points into yellow. So it's a very versatile, very capable trait line. Which again, I disked redline in my previous video more than I meant to. A lot of you guys took it the wrong way, and I misspoke. To be fair, I shouldn't have said that yellow line is better. What I was trying to come across is that I have had more success in yellow than I have in red. Therefore, for my playstyle and my current situation right now, yellow is better for me. Now, that is absolutely down to my red rotation just not being there. To be completely honest with you, there are plenty of other red rotations that are more than capable of out DPSing yellow. Not by much, because I mean you've seen that we've hit 215k on dummies, 230k on dummies. Zero actually, I was talking to him tonight. He actually hit a 239k parse solo on the dummy in yellow line. To my knowledge, he should be uploading that within the next week or so. So go check out his channel for that and give that a thumbs up, because that man is just, what the hell is that man on? Freaking Germans and Russians. What are y'all on? So yeah, guys, go give this trait setup a go. It's a freaking blast. Oh, by the way, I have a screenshot to show you guys. Let me see if I can go find that real quick. I want to say it's this one. Is it that one? Ah, yes, it is this one. All right, look here. Medium bleed quick sweep had a maximum critical strike of 1.366 million. This was in Shelob today, by the way. This was in our Tier 2 Shelob run. Yeah, I know 60 minutes. Don't ask why or how. I don't want to talk about it. Anyways, so almost 1.4 million buffed. So if that 400k crit that I had was quote unquote buffed, but this was buffed, so you're telling me that with half buffs, I had a 400k crit, and then I add another half buff, and that crit is nearly times 4'd. It's over tripled. Sorry guys, no, that's not how it works. That right there just shows you. Even RRC. I think I had another screenshot. RRC. Where is it? I think it's this one. Nope, my bad. Here. Nope, not that one either. Oh well, I'll find it later. Anyways, RRC hit a critical strike for 883k. Now keep in mind, those were critical hits. Those weren't even devastating hits. So that just kind of shows you right there. So it is absolutely more than possible. I mean, I just showed you guys my rotation. I've showed you guys my trait page. I have shown you guys my gear. Yes, I'm using the throne gear. I know, but it's just too good to not use. Um, so you have my virtues, you have my trait page, you have my build, you have my rotation. Go give it a go. You'll see it may take you a couple parses, it may take you a couple tries, but you will definitely get the critical hits that I'm getting. Um, Especially if you get the same buff RNG. Like I said, those buffs under the certain situations, you have to try to time it as much as you can, but you can only do so much. Um, but other than that, guys, we've covered how to do your buffs. We've covered up how to track your dots. We've covered the specific masteries and rotations that we use. We've covered learning how to be diverse and versatile in this class and how to adapt. Um, I'm sure there's other things that I'll think of later on in the video. Right now, to be honest with you, it's 3:40 and I'm just way too tired. My dog is literally looking at me on the bed like, "Yo, when you coming to bed?" Um, yeah, guys, I'll post this tonight, and you guys can watch this and ask me any other questions, any other information you want me to go over and cover. Um, Something I am planning on doing. What is today? Today is Friday when I'm recording this. Today is Friday. Okay. Something I am wanting to do next Thursday or next Friday. I will post it in the Discord and I will let you know when I've decided on a time for this. I want everyone to be able to be included in this. I'm going to have a parse contest, and what I mean by contest sounds really competitive. What I want to do is I want to have everyone come on their warden. We're going to set up more training dummies around this area, and we're all just going to parse here. So this is a perfect time for us to get visual aspects. This is a perfect time for us to goof off, have fun, talk to people, meet people, interact socially. Um, and everyone that comes here, I'm going to give 200 gold just for coming. But the person who has the highest parse, and I'm taking my name out of this. I'm taking my name out of this in case I have the highest parse. Not saying I will, but just in case I do. Um, the person who has the highest parse, I'm going to be giving 1,000 gold to, plus the 200 gold for them coming here. So basically, I just want to have a parsing party. Oh, that sounds really bad, doesn't it? I just want to have a little event where we're all here training together, um, socially interacting together. That way, you guys can physically be watching me what I do, physically watch what I parse, and ask me questions while I'm here. Maybe I can ask you guys questions if I see something you're doing that I see is like, oh, that's interesting. I didn't think of that. I can ask you, and vice versa. Um, so I'll post that in the Discord. Drop a comment below this video if that's something you want to do. Um, if not, then I'll assume that we don't want to do it, and we don't have to do that. But other than that, guys, let me know if there's anything else you want me to cover, and I'll be more than happy to help you guys out. I've had DMs from probably, not even kidding, probably over 25 to 35 people just saying, hey, thanks for the video and asking questions. I love interacting with you guys. This has probably been the best part of me starting this. Actually, it's definitely been the best part of me starting this. Granted, there have been a select few, not going to name any names, but most of you guys have been terrific, and I really appreciate your support and your insight on doing this. Other than that, guys, I'm going to go crash into my bed, and I will talk to you guys later. Take care.